All right, welcome back to another
What's
episode
up?
of 20 Days of the Racetrack. How we doing?
Good, man. Good.
Good, man. Looks clean. Look at that background, man. It's been a while since we've done an episode. This is nice.
Yeah, it's all right.
Oh man, look at that. Gotta get the full setup. I still got Danny back there. Danny's got carrying the show. Shit. All right. Well, obviously the biggest thing that's been going on recently is the Four Nations break.
I know. I see even on Instagram and stuff, like not even like hockey people are posting the shit.
Yeah, I mean it's been a crazy.
Like 3 fights like in 9 seconds.
Oh yeah, the last night was insane.
Yeah.
That was probably the most American start to a game I've ever seen in my life. The Chuck brothers, man, they're fucking dastardly.
They're the ones that watch me. They're so good.
Yeah, man.
Which one started it first?
Matt.
Matt.
Pretty sure Matt did.
Right after his brother came right in.
Yeah. It was funny because you got Brady going across, calling Sam Bennett, and he's like, "Yeah, man, let's go." So, and then JT Miller got into a fight too.
Yes. Whoever he fought him, bro, he towered him.
Yeah, JT Miller's a big fucking man. I mean, people forget how big of a dude he is.
Back on the Rangers.
Yeah. I know we talked about that last episode.
Yeah.
Fuckers.
It's all right.
They get a guy like him. He's like the best guy on their team already. As soon as he comes onto the team, that's how good he is, man. He's
making a difference.
Yeah, he's really good. But yeah, I mean this has been great. I mean, I definitely prefer this over like an all-star thing. I feel like it's kind of gotten out of hand, too lax. Nobody's really trying because nobody really wants to get hurt. But then when you have something like this and you're playing for your nation, it really brings out a lot out of different players. So I love to see it.
They had this a while ago, but like, remember, was it the World Cup of Hockey?
Yeah,
like,
this is a little different.
Couldn't play though. Like it was weird.
Yeah.
Like they had the North American team, I think it was, and like it was just like the prospects kind of. I don't know if I was right on that, but it was like just prospects and stuff. But like Europe was stacked. I remember like Halak was like the goalie for Europe. It was pretty cool. It's been a while since we've seen something like this.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely really nice. I mean, having McDavid, Crosby, and McKinnon on a fucking line, it's nuts to see.
Even the USA team's fucking stacked.
Oh, the UST, yeah, they're stacked. And not only that, you got a guy like Helmachuk in your fucking net. Like he's having the season of his life right now. So he is a shutdown guy, and he's still looking real solid.
I think they played Sweden. I think they played. USA
I think they play them next, and then Canada plays Finland. And the USA already clinched.
Finland has Saros in goal.
Yeah.
Oof. He's having a rough season. Nashville. I was watching. I think it was the Finland-Sweden game I watched. Maybe Finland. I don't know. One of them. And his stats are like 8.887, like on the goal save, man.
Yeah.
But I kind of felt bad, bro.
It's a rough season for Nashville.
It is
very surprising. Like we talked about, we thought they were gonna have a strong season.
That's a cool 4 teams to pick too. With Finland and Sweden, those are pretty like solid teams.
Yeah, I mean it's probably the majority of the amount of players in the league are from those 4 nations. Obviously, besides you have Russia too.
Yeah, I know they excluded.
But yeah, that would have been a fucking crazy team to see all the Russians.
You would have had Ovi.
You would have had. Yeah, Romanov on there. You have the two.
Yeah.
You have the 2 goalies in Shesterkin and Sorokin. Oh my god, that's a fucking.
Sorokin is for Russia. Yeah,
it's a scary fucking team right there. Kaprizov. Oh my god. Yeah. So good thing there's no Russian team.
I'm like thinking of it now.
Yeah,
because I know a lot of them like they won't go for Russia. Like, they do like Siberia and like other shit like that. So, but yeah, that would have been a pretty stacked team.
Yeah, it was a scary team.
Or like Latvia too. I was thinking like because the juniors was like Latvia was like stacked.
Yeah,
I was like, but anyways, man, yeah, it's pretty cool to watch, especially with this big like 2-week lull in hockey. Nothing really to watch. It was good.
Yeah, no, it's nice, man. I mean, I'm definitely enjoying it. They're not getting lax on the hits too. It's like I love to see like the physicality on it. Like I said, because it's the nations, I love that. So yeah, I mean it's been great and it's well needed for the Islanders. I mean, with the injuries and everything going on, they really need this time.
Because I think Barzey's out for 6 weeks, so this gives them like 2 weeks time to at least heal.
Because he got surgery on his knee, right? It was surgery on his knee.
It was his knee or like his shit? I don't know. Yeah, maybe it was his knee. He got surgery. Yeah, so
kneecap.
All right,
6 weeks. So
yeah, 6 weeks for him. There's a few guys out, bro. Still, but
yeah, they're going to reevaluate Hogberg. I know they said that as it gets closer to the end of the break.
I saw a couple guys like day to day or something already. So like I said, it's all kind of. I haven't really been paying attention with this stuff going on, but
yeah,
we'll see what happens. Hopefully, we just get like at least the defensive pairing settled and stuff.
Yeah, it's definitely good that we have this break, but at the same time, we have to think about what needs to happen now with this team. I mean, we've been getting.
I know.
We've been hearing all these rumors.
It's going to be here before you know. I heard Dobson's going to be on the block.
Yeah, apparently I don't know how true that is. I did see it too.
I saw it a lot.
That was everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
But like the Islanders haven't officially said anything, which they're never going to.
I think Brock is definitely settled though, because I don't know. I watched. I don't know who interviewed him. Maybe it was when I was watching the USA hockey, but he was like, when we played Minnesota, a couple of days after, he was like, yeah, like. Don't believe what you see yet, yada, yada, yada. But I feel like his is definitely the most prominent one, especially with how well he's doing. Yeah. He hit the crossbar in the first game, too. I thought he was going to score.
Yeah.
But it's fun to watch him. But, I think Brock is going to – I think it's going to be Brock, Palmieri. People are saying Dobson. I think Duclair would be good. He's not really fitting with the team. He hasn't really played a whole lot. He's like 26 games.
You think Duclair after signing him?
I think so. I mean, unless you really like him, I haven't seen.
He hasn't done enough. But
he's an NHL traveler. I mean,
it would just be.
It'd suck a little bit, but at the same time, like, I mean, unless he stands out.
I mean, it's hard to get rid of. For me, he's not a first line guy.
No,
he's maybe a second line guy, but he's a natural winger. Yeah. That's the thing.
And we don't have a lot of those.
That's what I'm saying. We don't got a lot of those. It's nice to have him for cheap if we can.
Yeah, I think he's gonna be. Like I said, he hasn't played with a team more than like 2 seasons, so
yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised if he's put in a package deal. But like you said, I've seen Dobson a lot, and I've seen Pajot, which I don't get why. I like Pajot. I feel like he's a guy you could kind of throw anywhere and accumulate to whatever setting you put him in.
Yeah,
but that's what I've been seeing.
Yeah, that's what I've been seeing too. I did hear a rumor that Nelson was going to get re-signed and that they were going to.
I did see that.
I was like, oh my god! I'm like, that'd be the worst fucking thing.
Maybe it was. I don't want to throw out names, but I did see that. But he's 33. Like, what are you going to sign him to?
That's what I'm saying.
What deal are you going to? I mean, he's not old, but like he's 33 now. Like, what deal are you going to sign him to? A 4-year deal? He's going to be 37.
That should be somebody else's problem. It shouldn't be the Isles' problem. We should be, getting rid of him. And listen, if he doesn't sign with anybody at the end of the trade, at the end of the season, and he wants to get on a team for cheap, maybe we bring him back for cheap. But not for like a situation like this where he's looking for, show me the money kind of contracts, So we don't want that. He's having a really good season. We don't really want to pay for it.
And that's what I got kind of worried about. I don't want us. Like I said, it's very nice to have him, but like, I don't want to just because he's having a great season doesn't mean like we have to re-sign him. Like what's like exactly. we got what we got out of him for the past like 12 seasons. Like it's kind of maybe. I mean, I know at least like history wise, we don't really trade for draft picks. So I feel like if we're gonna trade, it's gonna be for somebody. I just don't know who it's gonna be for.
Yeah,
I feel like we really don't do the draft pick way.
Yeah,
we kind of get what we get. But I don't see either Palms or Brock being the mix. I think the deadline's March 7th, something like that. But either way, it's about 2.5 weeks out.
Yeah,
I saw someone talking about Nick Robertson for a trade for, but I feel like defensively and stuff we've been pretty stacked. I mean,
March 7th. So I mean, I don't defensively we've kind of sealed everything up with the.
I shouldn't say stacked, but like we're comfortable. We have a lot of depth here now.
Yeah, we added some guys, and listen, that some of these guys are not going to be for a long term. At least we don't know, which is fine because we kind of have to try to figure out what we're going to do anyway at the end of the season. Not having anybody locked up long term gives us the ability to be like, all right,
a little breathing room.
You can go whatever we want to do. But when it comes to players like Nelson Palmieri, these are guys that you want to sell high. I mean, Palmieri, before the break, has been fucking killing it. He's been really good before the break. He looked good against Winnipeg, even though we lost, and he looked good against the Wild, too. But, I mean, Nelson is having another strong season. Palmieri looks good. Siplaklov is another player that he's been playing great. He's got 5 points in the last 5 games, all assists.
He's a player I like to keep though because we just got him.
Exactly. I'm saying guys that are. I'm saying guys that are playing well. You want to showcase these guys. 2 of those 3 guys are guys you're going to want to get rid of. I don't really know about getting rid of Duclair. I get it. He's, not really gelling well with anybody, but he was out for a good period of time. He's kind of been up and down on the lines. We really don't know where to put him. At least that's what it kind of seems like. I think he plays the best on the second. But that second
Do you need
line
help? Do you need help? Give me one second. Here we go. What do you need?
All right, everybody. Well,
I am. Yeah,
she right?
Yeah, she's switching from Valentine's to St. Patty's Day decor.
That's fast.
It's fast, dude. Just like that. Gone.
Garbage. No, I mean, he plays well on the second line, but also that being said, the second line would look a lot different if we lost Nelson and Palmieri. Then where does he go? Duclair could still stay on the second line, could even be on a third line. But the team is going to look very, very different if you think about it, because that second line has been so consistent for these last 2-3 years. That whole second line is gone without Nelson and Palmieri, pretty much.
And then I guess that makes sense. Like if you do keep Duclair, you could put him on the second line. And what, you want Sispakov to work with him, or?
I have no idea. I'm just saying guys that you want to keep and guys that.
Do you think definitely Nelson and Palmieri gone by the trade deadline?
I would love for that to be.
Do you think it's going to happen?
I don't know if it's going to happen. I listen, even the Dobson rumor, I'm not fucking surprised if he gets traded because Lou's a fucking idiot. But at the same time, he's made some good moves for cheap defensemen. That doesn't mean you get rid of your stud young defenseman.
I just don't get why to get rid of him, though. Like I feel like Dobson comes off a 70-point. I guess last year, but he comes off a 70-point season as a defenseman.
Yeah,
and then he's looking a little bit better now. He has a little more tools to work with, right? With D'Angelo, even if he works with him or not as a pairing. But like last year, who was he working with last year on that? He was with like Mayfield sometimes. He was all over the place, and he didn't do too well. Yeah. I feel like this year we got a couple good pickups. Defensively, I kind of like where we're at. And Dobson, he's young though, man. He's so young.
The pairing for the future is Dobson and Romanov. They've been playing phenomenal when they're both healthy.
When they're both healthy together.
Together. They play great. Even Romanov by himself, he's looking great. I mean,
Romeo, I'm not really worried about. He's a physical player.
He's our number one.
Shots it on net, and he's good. Even I like Romeo. I'm not really worried about him. Dobson too.
I think he's our number one defenseman.
Romeo?
Yeah, Romeo.
I would say Romeo or Pulak.
Yeah, I mean, I gotta go. I'm going with Romeo just because his aspect of the game, even against Minnesota, he put up a bunch of shots against Minnesota too, and his overall game is phenomenal. Pulak is seasoned. He plays the game right. Makes simple moves.
Why I like Pulak is he's great with puck clearing.
Yeah,
absolutely great with puck clearing.
And he quarterbacks.
And that's a thing that we don't. I mean, I'm not going to shut on these guys, but that's a thing that we could lack in a lot of times, especially during when we're down a guy and we're backs against the wall and they've we're on the penalty kill. He's great with clearing the puck or even holding on to on the side of the boards, killing a few seconds and clearing it. Yeah. Really good with that, man.
Yeah,
and we saw that 4 years ago against Tampa. Remember that hand block? Like shit like that is just unreal, man. Yeah, and I know he's not like as physical as Romy. I just really like him. And you said he's seasoned, he's veteran. I like Pulak. He's good. Definitely like an under talked about person on that team.
Yeah, same thing with Pelech. Pelech is also very.
They gel so good together, man.
They gel so well, and Pelech is such a shutdown defensive guy. Very, very simple to his game.
Yes,
you keep it simple on D. You know what I mean? And he does a great job. But Romanov's ceiling is so fucking high. I mean, he's so young. And he's only getting better. So it's like he's going to be he's already elite in my mind. He's just playing elite minutes.
His first season was what, like 22 maybe or 21? Yeah. One of those years. Yeah, he's young. He is young. Yeah.
He's young. Man, I mean, he's getting rid of a first round pick to Montreal to get him was an amazing move.
And that's the thing. Lou pulls some shit out of his ass. It's just like, all right. And then he does kind of some dumb things.
That's what I'm saying. So
like, I'm looking back now on Hogberg. Like that was a clutch. Yeah. Clutch pickup, dude. Yeah. Especially when I don't know if Varley is coming back anytime soon. I've kind of been seeing with him, it's in the air, So having him, hopefully he's back and healthy and everything because we need to give Sorokin that break. It sucked playing the Wild and who was a Winnipeg? I forgot putting him back to back, dude. It was just like, you're not going to win both. He just played 2 or 3 games in a row. And now we had like a 3-day break. And then it's just like, dude, you're putting him against arguably the best team in the NHL right now is Winnipeg.
Yeah.
And you put him against the Wild in the Wild South. Josh, he's good down here, man. Yeah, it just sucks. So having that depth is nice, I never would have expected Varley to be out for 4 months now.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
4. I think
I feel like we haven't heard anything. I mean, really. I mean, he hasn't really he hasn't made much progress at all. Not enough for us to get excited about.
I check every day, like this everyday lineup thing. And I checked it a couple days ago. It was still up in the air.
He's skating, right? I think he's at least skating.
Daily face-off I've been checking. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And it kind of gives you the ins and outs. Yeah, so they have – this is what I saw. So it said 6 weeks. It put Barzy at day-to-day, Scott Mayfield at day-to-day, and Hogberg is still on the IR. And same with Varley. But I don't know why it has Barzy in the day-to-day.
Yeah, I mean, where I'm looking, I got – Mayfield, he's put on injured reserve.
Yes.
And I have Barzy on injured reserve, Hogberg on injured reserve, Dobson on injured reserve, and Varley. Yeah, and Varley, which we already said. So, yeah, I mean, I got all those guys on injured reserve.
It's definitely.
Right now we can't avoid them. It's like we just keep piling those on. It's like we've got at least 3 guys injured at a time. Like I don't think there's ever been a point where we've had less than 3 guys injured at one time. Now we got 5. It's kind of like how it was
situation. Last year we had the same situation too, man. It's
been a problem all season now. Yeah,
since the jump, I think Duclair went down the first or second week. yeah. So it sucks. And we're in it, man. I mean, I know I'm always that positive dude, but we're 4 points out.
Yeah,
like. The
games in hand, we're starting to lose them. We only got 1 game.
We are starting to lose them because we had those 2 games in a row. We had a busy week before we went on this 4 Nations break.
Yeah,
but yeah, dude. I mean, it's a fight. Boston's been struggling. I've seen that. The only guy really contributing is Pastrnak. There's definitely a few teams, man. Rangers are gelling well with JT now back on the team.
Yeah,
but he definitely made a quick impact on them.
For sure. I mean, he makes, like I said, he makes an impact on whatever team he's on. He is a complete player, does everything all around the ice. So, yeah, I mean, we're at a point which we've been at for a little while, and we've talked about it the last couple episodes. We got to kind of make a decision, especially trade deadline coming up, what we're going to do, whether we're going to retool or not. We're not that far out of a wild card spot.
What's up? I don't know what she's saying.
We do have a game. If you have to go, I'll keep it going for a couple of minutes. We do have a game in hand against a couple teams, which is good. But
I don't think it's much, though. I'll check. I don't think it's a lot. Keep going.
I think we only have a game in hand, maybe against Columbus, and I want to say.
What happened?
I want to say the Rangers or Boston.
Okay. All right.
Let me tell you right now. We have a game in hand against. We got 2 games in hand against Boston, and 1 game in hand against Columbus.
Gotcha. I'm checking. Yeah. So far, I'm happy with what we got with the Boquist and the other dude, Scott. We picked up Brunovich.
Yeah. And
what I'd like to see is like a winger would be nice. That's what I'm gonna say.
We need a natural winger, and I've been seeing a lot of. I think we talked about it last episode too. Maybe we just text each other about it. Peterson, Elias Peterson from Vancouver. Mm-hmm. He's another guy that young, talented center. Don't necessarily think we need him. We really need, especially if we're going to get somebody like him, that would be trading Dobson to get somebody like him. If they really needed a defenseman, that's what that would be. But to me, we really need some young natural wingers. I think we need younger players to come into the team. Peterson is young, but to me, it's like he's kind of in a position now where you lost JT Miller.
Yeah.
He hasn't had Horvat. He is the guy now for that fucking team. So, and he's got some strong wingers around him. So there's not really a reason for him to leave. And I don't know what their plans are for that team. Because losing JT Miller, I mean, I don't know what his whatever contract he wanted, or I have no idea. But losing JT Miller is a big fucking like, what is going on? You know? So unless they're planning on adding some younger guys to the team and saying, Peterson, this is your team now, you're going to be the guy, whatever. But I don't think that's a incentive for us to be like, all right, let's get Peterson. It's like, that's going to be a guy that's going to get a massive contract, and we're going to have to shell out a lot to get somebody like him.
Long-term contract too. Yeah, he wants that cushion, wants that safety net.
Exactly, because he's at that age now where he's going to be looking for that, and we don't want that. No. So, I don't think that's a good move. I think the best move for this team is to retool, get rid of some guys that are playing at a high, Nelson Palmieri, and keep some of the guys that we've only had for a short period of time, see where they're going to be at. I think holding on to Duclair for a year is not that big of a deal. If he doesn't sit on well for the next season, then maybe try to put him away in a package, whatever it is. I just don't think he's had enough consistent time with any set line that he's been able to really. I mean, he was supposed to be with Horvat and Barzal. He looked strong, then he got hurt.
Yeah.
Then he came back and he was thrown on the second line. Looked good on the second line, then the second line got changed up. So it's like now it's never really going to be staying the same, especially with Barzy being out. He got bumped up again.
He's going to be in and out with all these injuries. He's going to be all over the place with these lines.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So he's not that caliber of player that no matter where you put him, he's going to play well, like a Pajot. Pajot goes
that. I just want like consistency.
Yeah. So we got guys that got that consistency, and I just think for guys like Sipakov and Duclair that we got to give them a little bit of time. Especially Sipakov. I mean, if he goes into next season, cleans up his fucking penalties, and really starts having more of an eye for the net, because he hasn't been scoring a whole lot. He's getting assists recently, like I said, 5 in the last 5.
Yeah.
But he hasn't done what we really wanted him to do, which was, get a good amount of goals and add that extra oomph offensively, be a power forward. He has the strength and amazing puck control, but he hasn't been really driving towards that net and scoring like we would have hoped. That's what I like to see. I would love to see them try to get a power forward. We really haven't had a power forward.
Especially a winger. It would be nice. Yeah. But like I said, time will tell. We have about a week and a half left, right, of this Four Nations stuff, and that's it's going to be wrapped up.
Yeah.
That's it, man.
Yeah, it's going to be definitely interesting. Rumors are just rumors, but, you worry with a guy like Lou re-signing Nelson and trading Dobson. That would be fucking ridiculous.
And I don't think he'll do that.
I don't think he'll do that. I mean, he's got to be,
because you're getting rid of a future, for something you've had for so long, and that's and like there's going to be another Nelson, but right now, like, we don't have a lot of Dobsons on the team. Like you said, our strong points are Dobson and Romy. Pulak and Pellick have been in the team for like 10 years now. Sooner or later, they're going to be gone too. You need to like what you have, try to keep something and kind of keep building off of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, like, having like Boquist, like a little more time on it, a little more veterans, kind of nice to see him, coming off a pretty caliber fucking Florida team, even though he didn't get a lot of playing time there, like he kind of gets the ins and outs.
Yeah.
That's cool to have him. He's cheap. It's good. Easy 1 year. But you could build a Romy, you could build a Dobson. Those are two good guys that are clutch, man. It's nice to have.
Yeah.
So getting rid of either one of them would make a lot of sense. Forward wise, I mean, like the real youth we have is Sipakov. We'll see what happens with him. I like him personally. He's aggressive. What sucks is his penalty minutes. But our leader on the offense is gonna be Bo, and after that's Barzy. Hopefully this injury is gonna be plaguing the team. Hopefully it's just Barzy. Barzy comes back and he, finishes where he left off. But it's gonna be on Bo's shoulders for the next few weeks until Barzi's back. Everybody's gonna be looking up to him for the answers. He's a good locker room guy from what I've heard. We don't have that issue. I kind of got nervous when he did sign D'Angelo. I was like, shit, like, this guy is kind of a dick.
Me too.
But like I said, what is good though, like you said, and we've both said before, we have this 2-week break. And in the 2 weeks, we could, hopefully Lou and Wah are just ramming these lines and whoever's going to be until we have that consistency of players back. So I'm kind of excited to see who's going to be playing where. We pick back up soon. So it's going to be here before you know it.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And the trade deadline will be here before we know it. And hopefully some decisions will be made and we'll kind of get a trajectory of where this team is going to go, which you and I are both hoping that it's going to be a little bit of a retool. Maybe just saying, all right, we make playoffs, but this is not our goal. Our goal is to fix this team and prep for next season.
Yes.
Get the most bang for our buck right now, because we got some guys that we should be selling high and not waiting until, they're pretty much losing them for nothing. We don't want to be doing that.
Gotcha.
We've done that enough. So
ins and outs, man.
Yeah.
I got to run my fucking is it raining? It's raining hard, right?
It was before I came down.
Yeah, I got to fix the window. You going to stay on?
Listen, I'll stay on if you need to go for a little bit.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for a little bit. It's coming.
I'll carry the show for a little bit. Then you shoot me a text message. If not, then I'll
leave it on for now, though, right, brother?
All right.
We're back.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's just me and Danny DeVito. This is what it's going to be for the next, 5-10 minutes, whatever it is. Whoever is watching, I do see there's a singular viewer on StreamYard. I do appreciate you sticking around. And the 3 that join on Instagram that are no longer watching, I do appreciate your views. Yeah, this team is at a point which we've talked about before, where a retool is definitely necessary. Not having guys that are going to lock us up long term is really what we need to look for. We need to be able to put ourselves in a position. Wow, that is really annoying in the background. He's got to turn that shit off. We are in a position where we need to make cap space. We don't have a lot of it. And if we want to have any hope of making moves to improve this team when it comes to age and talent, we got to do that this season. I think holding on for another year with guys like Nelson and Palmieri. I know Pajot has been thrown in that mix. It would suck to lose him, in my opinion. I love Pajot. I'm a big Pajot guy. The move's got to be made now. While guys are playing well, you got to start looking to shop them. Waiting is really the big Achilles heel for this team. I feel like there's a lot of hesitation with Lou. He's a very old school guy. He hangs on to players way too long, but he does surprise us with some good moves like we talked about, Perunovic and Boquist, and then even D'Angelo. And I know D'Angelo just fucking scored on himself against the Wolves, which is pretty fucking embarrassing. But the only good part about that is any chance of that guy being a shithead in the locker room, I'm sure that own goal is going to be held over his head for quite a while, because I know I would hold it against myself for a while at least. But this team is at a point now we gotta make a decision. And I think, in my opinion, and I know Anthony's opinion, would be to make that move of selling these guys high and getting a little bit of a reality check and saying, hey, playoffs would be nice. A Stanley Cup run would be nice. Is this a team in our mind that can go deep? No, definitely not. Not trying to be negative. It's just the reality of what has been the last couple of years. Hanging on to false hope and some good stretches of games is not what we need to do. We need to take a look at ourselves and say, hey, we need to make moves. We got to try to make this team better and think about the future just a little bit. Draft picks are low. Prospects are not that great. Obviously, in us grabbing a lot of guys last second defensively shows that we have a lack of depth in the AHL, and getting some youth would be great for this team. Just a retool. Not saying a full rebuild. Don't scrap everything and throw out everything. Don't try to recreate the wheel. Just work with what you got now and, maybe just make a little bit of changes and see, hopefully, the next season or so, if we will be younger, faster, more lethal, and hopefully better defensively, because this has been a horrendous team defensively, and specialty kills has been pretty bad. So I think this is the trajectory of this team, in my opinion, and I know Anthony feels the same way. Somebody's there. Kate's there. But that is the reality of the situation with this team right now. And I think I'm going to call it in the next minute or so. This is probably a good place to end it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was an episode of Sunny Days of the Racetrack. We love you. We love the Islanders. And we will talk to you soon. That is illegal outside of your home zone. Now we get to stop it.